again, VC. Today we are discussing some jazz reissues, namely the Analogue Productions Prestige Series. So, just some background. These came out in about 2012, the monos, and then 25 monos, and 2014, 25 stereos. So for a total of 50 titles. Now these were made up of the most sought after and rare prestige titles that you could find. These 50 titles didn't really sell that well initially. They sold. There was, I believe, if you were within the I wasn't collecting vinyl at this time, but if you were within the first 250 subscribers of the series, you'd get the same serial number across all the releases, yada yada yada. They were in print for years, and really without a hitch. They sold slow, and you could get them regularly at $35, or even back when Acoustic Sounds did 15%, 10% off sales, less than $30 typically. The first title I picked up from the series was John Coltrane's Soul Train. It comes in a glossy Stoughton tip-on jacket. Just a single, none of these are gatefold, just a single pocketed jacket. Back. And they come with this Analogue Productions, sort of an older style insert of, this is a December 2016 catalog, so I believe, yeah, I'm pretty sure I got this in 2018, so that just shows you how old this particular copy is. And this is a mono, but it has a 2014 label. Wow, that's dusty, but 2014 label. Amazing record, one of my favorite Coltrane records around. I mean, the music just cooks absolutely throughout, and Good Bait, the first song on here, is phenomenal, and it's just, everything is great about it. It comes on the Prestige Fireworks label. So that dark golden yellow. These are 200 gram. This one's a little lighter than I'd say the newer pressings, but these were on 200 gram vinyl. Micro groove or deep groove. So to explain, it's hard to show on camera, but the deep groove is sort of this, as you move your finger along the label, it's sort of this recess, kind of almost like a spoon, how it's straight across and then dips. That's what the deep groove is. And these were all faithfully replicated 200 gram deep groove, like the original pressings from the 1950s were all done exactly like this. And there wasn't, I think, Acoustic Sounds might have overestimated the demand, but these were in stock. Quite a few of these were in stock into 2019 even. Fast forward to 2021, I look on my Discogs, and this record's selling for well over $200. 200 US dollars, that is, for this copy, which is quite shocking considering I paid less than $30 for it originally. And you visit the Hoffman forums or any other forums, and people are selling these for crazy amounts of money, 100, 150, 200. This pressing of Saxophone Colossus here, there's a $30 QRP in-print version that I'll show you the differences of in this video, but this was going for almost $300 for this particular record. It was sold out. It was not coming back. Kraft and Concord has as far as I know, had ended their partnership on these titles. They weren't going to be repressed. It was done in terms of, as of like 2018, it was done. These weren't coming back. So the value started going up because people realized how amazing these sound, how faithful, the deep groove, the 200 gram press flat profile pressings, how great they were, and that they deserve to be in your jazz collection. They came with this insert as well. So it lays out all 50 titles. Liner notes. This is in every copy. Gary Sahlstrom credited, and it just all these are done really well. The mono and stereo, they're flawless pressings. The catalog advertisement, the address, everything is just completely faithful to the original. And in late 2021, they announced they were going to repress all 50 of these titles. These are the ones I've sort of picked up so far that I've gotten recent shipments. This is Sonny Rollins Plays for Bird. It was Kenny Dorham, Max Roach. It is Prestige Catalog 7095. Super cool cover there. Again on the Prestige Fireworks label. Long play micro groove. And I may add, Acoustic Sounds increased prices on all of their LPs across the board, $5. So these will cost you $40 American now, 40 US dollars. And they don't really do discounts anymore, so you're never going to really find a 10-15% off. They also have the Prestige Mooseville, Bluesville, New Jazz. New Jazz is sort of more of the bordering on avant-garde kind of style of music. Ballads by Arnett Cobb, with some just absolutely killer music on here. Just a lot of these are just unbeatable, just the best in class Eric Dolphy stuff. I recommend streaming this before making a purchase. It grows on you for sure, but it's a little jarring to listen to at first. If you're a fan of maybe the Blue Note Out to Lunch, similar to that, it's sort of his evolution of that bordering on avant-garde style. Eric Dolphy, an alto sax and bass clarinetist. There's a lot of hard panning on the Eric Dolphy titles, so if you're not a fan, because these particular some of these are in stereo, so there's a lot of hard panning left and right with the instruments. So I know a lot of people don't like hard panning. I'm not the biggest fan, so I recommend definitely streaming. One of my absolute favorite album artworks of all time. You have Outward Bound by Eric Dolphy. They just don't make jackets or cover art like this anymore. And this is heavy. Freddie Hubbard, Roy Haynes on this record. It's just phenomenal. Eric Dolphy. Far Cry with Booker Little on the New Jazz label. And again, Roy Haynes on the drums on this guy, Ron Carter on the bass. Miles Davis and the Modern Jazz Giants with Milt Jackson, Thelonious Monk, Kenny Clark, Percy Heath. One of the big titles they're actually missing on this series is Walkin' with the Miles Davis All-Stars. And don't know if Miles and Milt is on here either, or collector's items. So, and Blue Haze isn't on here. They didn't do every Prestige title, just like the 50 rarest, I suppose, or whatever ones Chad could get tapes to. One of the best jazz records ever recorded, Quiet Kenny by Kenny Dorham. This is the stereo pressing on the maroon New Jazz label, the deep groove. It's a little lighter. A lot of these feel 200 grams plus. This is a little lighter. I know Acoustic Sounds, they switched over to 180 gram for all their represses just because of quality control issues with 200 gram records and the cost of vinyl pellets going up. They went to a more cost effective. The quality of the records is still as good, if not better than before. The weight doesn't affect the sound quality, so no worries there. But a lot of these still do too. Still weigh in at over 200 grams. I've heard on the forums and online a lot of people are saying they're missing the deep groove. They're cut differently. Well, that's just not the case. These all have the deep groove. They're all 200 grams plus, all flat profile. They didn't change that. But, there's been quite a few reissues of this particular record recently. I know Electric Recording Company did their 300 copies for, $700 or whatever those go for plus. And last year there was a Record Store Day mono version of this, and the mono was actually just a fold down of the stereo version. It's not a different mix or anything. It's just the two stereo channels summed into one. But this is a must-have from this collection for sure. John Coltrane, Lush Life. I mean, many of you know there was the Kraft One Step. This is one of John Coltrane's best records for sure. The Kraft One Step was going for $300+ before this was repressed. And I had the Kraft One Step and sold it. and I now have this pressing, and it's very, very, very good. I highly recommend this. And that's all I really have for now out of the pressings. The rest are still on back order. Now these did increase $5 each, so if you're going to get all 50, you do the math. That's, $250 extra you're paying if, you didn't get them before they increased the price, which was, I think, last December. So if you had them ordered when they were still $35, Acoustic Sounds honors that price. But if you don't, then you're going to be paying an extra $250 to get all 50. So I just thought I'd note that they will be more expensive than they would have been, just a year ago if you didn't order them. And I didn't, so I am paying the extra. And I can't really blame you because no one really knew if these were going to come back. So if you didn't, pay the $250, if you didn't get them at the old price, it's not really your fault. I said I would compare these two pressings here. This is the Prestige Series. This is another version cut at Quality Record Pressings. This has the edge in terms of sound quality. Obviously it's more expensive. This is about $25. This is about $40. And the quality of the pressing is definitely not the same. The jacket is flimsier. And the color, it's more of a light blue, as this is more like a teal blue. Right here you have the Analogue Productions pressing, much darker, almost a golden yellow fireworks label. And then of course the deep groove, 200-gram flat profile. And then there's the more yellowy, completely different font and everything, which is surprising because this is a Craft / Concord themselves doing these, and they can't do as faithful as a job as a third-party label, which is quite surprising. Now again, these are some of the most important, interesting, excellent jazz records ever released. They weren't as popular as Blue Note releases, for sure. And if you don't have the money, don't spend all 50. Don't buy all 50 currently. Don't ever stretch yourself out for vinyl or go over your budget. Don't get your wife mad at you if you have, or your family, whatever. But these are, in my opinion, must-own records. At least a lot of the Coltrane's, all the Miles Davis, all the Sonny Rollins, all the Gene Ammons, the Boss Tenors, Soulful Moods, Lightning Hopkins if you're into the blues. I mean, a couple of those were sourced from Needle Drops, so I definitely look into that if you're interested in buying those, because some of them aren't AAA. They come in this new AP outer where they switched this color to more of a yellowy. It used to be a really matte gold, and now it's just a yellow finish. The hype sticker. I just keep the outer bags like this and stuff them inside the jackets. But 99.9% of these are from the original Prestige master tapes. The ones you want, get them in stock now. Don't fall into paying for all those secondary market prices on the titles you want. I mean, who knows how much longer they'll be in print. You certainly don't want to be paying $200 plus for some of these further on down the line. That being said, some of these may come in as a Craft small batch series. Some of them may be done again in a few years if Craft decides to do their own Prestige series. You never know. I wouldn't bank on waiting for titles in this series that you want now to come out at a cheaper price in a few years, like Blue Note Classics. They might, you never know. But I wouldn't, wait 5 or 6 years, because they might, and they're definitely, once these are gone, they're gone. I want to thank you once again for joining me on today's episode. See you next time. We're going to go over the Blue Note Tone Poets and Blue Note Classic series, and just sort of the evolution of that series and what they've had to offer over since they've come out, and the pricing games that Amazon plays, and upcoming tome poets. But thank you again for tuning in, and don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment. We'll see you next time, VC.